Well, let's take a look and see what's going on. Is there a light that we can turn on, or no?
Yeah, I think it's on the oven.
Oven light.
Yep.
Okay. A long ways to go. Oh, I think I will go ahead and separate the eggs while we're waiting for that. 3 egg yolks.
What's the purpose of separating the eggs?
We just want the yolks in this particular recipe.
Mm-hmm.
The yolk is where most of the fat is in an egg, and so we want the richness of it. And also, you don't usually put the whites in a custard because they would scramble, I'm sure. So you don't really want scrambled eggs in your custard. So. And we like scrambled egg whites. So because the topping on this pie is whipped cream instead of meringue, I just save the whites and we just scramble them for breakfast. They don't go to waste. You can also make divinity
Mm-hmm.
with it, which we like that too. So you just keep going back and forth between one shell and the other till you have it separated.
Have you found that this is something that takes some time to learn how to do?
The egg?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, yes. I mean, sometimes it doesn't work for me either. I can see right now this one here looks like this yolk is starting to break a little bit. So if I can get that little bit of white out of there, we can use it. Now, I do have an egg separator at home too. I almost brought that. It separates 3 eggs at a time. But I thought maybe some of the ones that were washing might want to know how to do it this way. So.
Yeah.
So that's it, and then we need to scramble those up just a little bit. So let's take a look at the pie. This is a very forgiving recipe. I was making the pie earlier to bring for the tasters to try, and I was watching TV at the same time. And really got engrossed in whatever it is I was watching, and so I finished with the first part of the custard and had put the butter and the vanilla in there and realized that why are these eggs still sitting over here on the counter? So I scooped out the butter and scooped out what vanilla I could and put the eggs in there, and it was still fine. So, you know, I didn't have to start all over again, but never had this one really fail on me. It always sets up. And I think it would be probably a really good pie for someone that's just starting out that wants to try something like this. Open that up just a minute. Okay. Good. Got about 5 more minutes on that.
And what are some other ingredients that you're going to be using?
Okay, what we're going to do, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to mix the flour, sugar, the cornstarch, and salt together in the saucepan. And then you're going to incorporate 2 cups of whole milk slowly. And you do that kind of gradually because you don't want any lumps or anything in there. And you're going to cook that till it thickens. And then once it thickens, you let it cook for a couple of minutes. And then you're going to add your beaten eggs in there and let it cook for about 30 seconds, just long enough for the eggs to cook.
Okay.
And you take that off the heat, and then we're going to add 2 tablespoons of butter, a teaspoon of vanilla, and a cup of coconut. And let that, take it off the heat and let that cool for a while. And some of the recipes tell you to put a piece of plastic on the surface of the custard to keep a film from developing, you know, while you're waiting for it to cool. But I don't do that with this one because you're going to cover it with whipped cream, so you know, and there's not that much of a film on there. So to me, when you do that, when you go to take the plastic off, you've got a lot of filling that's stuck to it. So
Yeah.
to me, I just leave that off.
Okay.
So, and then basically after that's cool for a while, you will put it in your cool pie crust, and then make your whipped cream and put on top of that. And also, we're also going to make some toasted coconut, which you're going to use as a garnish to go on top of your in just a minute. We're just gonna do that in the frying pan that I brought. Some people like to do it in the oven, but I just prefer to do it on top of the stove, so you kind of watch it closely. Not real familiar with this oven, so I just want to keep watching it to make sure if it runs hot or whatever, we'll get it out of there. So.
And when you're ready for a pot holder, they're in the drawer to your right. Yep.
All right.
Now, does Elizabeth like this pie?
No.
No, she's not a coconut fan.
Actually, my daughter Tracy does not like sweets.